I love you. I wonder who will take care of me the way you did. Who will be buying my purses? Who will be buying my earrings and perfumes? Who will approve my clothes designs?
Relatives of the late Ivy Wangechi, the Moi University student murdered 2 days ago, numb in grief.
In Kenya, the somber reality of life cut short under mysterious circumstances has become an unfortunate recurring theme. These tragedies, often rooted in personal conflicts such as love, sex, or money, have left the nation in mourning time and again. In this report, we dive into a series of murder cases that have gripped Kenya over the past 5 years, each one causing anguish that reverberated throughout the country.
Hello, my name is Chief Okuzo from Plug TV.
One of the most heart-wrenching cases that sent shockwaves across the nation occurred in April 2019, when Ivy Wangechi, a promising medical student, met a tragic end at the hands of her enraged boyfriend, Naftali Kinuthia. Ivy's story was not that of an ordinary student. She had completed her high school education at the prestigious Alliance Girls High School, where she excelled in her final exams, achieving remarkable results in every subject she pursued. The path of Ivy and Naftali crossed during their university years, a connection that traced back to their childhood when they both attended Joyland Academy Nursery School together in 1998. At the time, during her campus days, while Ivy was pursuing her education, Naftali was employed at Pevans East Africa, the company behind SportPesa betting platform. Naftali, driven by his determination to keep Ivy by his side, often worked late into the night to accumulate the funds they would spend together. In response to safety concerns during his late-night commutes, he acquired an axe, which he kept in his car for his security purposes. Initially, their relationship seemed blissful, with Naftali deeply in love with Ivy. However, as time passed, Ivy's interest in their relationship began to wane. Despite Naftali's persistent efforts to mend their fractured bond, Ivy's indifference persisted. In the days leading up to her tragic demise, Ivy was reportedly organizing her birthday celebration, requiring a sum of 28,000 Kenyan shillings to host the event. She reached out to Naftali for financial assistance, and he promptly sent her some money, promising to deliver the balance on her birthday, which fell on April 10th. Now, despite his financial support, Ivy continued to ignore him, refusing to answer his calls and eventually blocking him. It was at this point that Naftali decided to make the journey from Thika to Eldoret to check on Ivy and understand why she had severed contact. His intentions were to wish her a happy birthday and provide the remaining funds of her celebration. However, upon meeting Ivy, she rebuffed him, insisting that he should leave immediately, as her new boyfriend had already taken care of the financial aspect. Naftali recounted the moment, saying, "She told me that I was not invited to the party and that I should immediately leave. I was so shocked by what she was saying. At that point, I didn't even respond. I knew she had burned all bridges, and there was no way I could salvage our relationship."
Because at times I wanted to talk to her, and when I reach out, she comes and tells me, "Send me 5,000 first if you want us to talk." Now this was what I was required. So I sent the 5,000, and I'm expecting us to talk. Next thing I know, I'm not ready. So I thought she's taking advantage of a desperate man wanting to resolve something.
Naftali's world crumbled as he felt all his dreams with Ivy slipping away. Dreams of a future, vacations in the Maldives, and a beautiful family. He described the feeling stating, "In my mind, I felt like a loser and hopeless because of what she said. I became angry and felt bad that the connection we had since 1998 had suddenly come to an end." As Naftali walked back to his car accepting that Ivy had moved on, he glanced back one last time, only to witness Ivy embracing an unfamiliar man. Overwhelmed by anger, he retrieved the axe he had placed in his car for his security purposes and tragically used it against Ivy Wangechi. He later faced a furious mob, enduring a violent assault that left him with severe injuries and unconscious. Unfortunately, a police officer intervened, rescuing him and rushing him to Moi Referral Hospital for treatment. Ivy, however, succumbed to her injuries at the scene due to profuse bleeding. Naftali Kinodia faced the full force of the law, and after a grueling 4 years murder trial, he was sentenced to 40 years in prison for the cold-blooded murder of Ivy Wangechi outside Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital, MTRH, in 2019. Number 2. Purity Wangechi. The 20-year-old student at the Kenya Institute of Mass Communication met a premature and untimely demise at the hands of her boyfriend. Purity, who was pursuing her dreams in broadcast journalism while harboring aspirations of making a name for herself through TikTok, had her life abruptly cut short amidst a love affair marred by controversy. Purity's romantic involvement with John Wanyoike Kibungi, known as DJ Flex, unfolded 5 months into her university journey. To her, he appeared to be the man of her dreams, but in reality, DJ Flex had a darker side, involving swindling numerous individuals, including his ex-girlfriend, out of their hard-earned money. Leading up to the tragic event, Purity had moved her belongings to her boyfriend's residency shortly after the school closure. It was during this time that she received anonymous text messages pleading for her assistance in recovering money from DJ Flex, her boyfriend. As it turned out, these messages originated from DJ Flex's ex-girlfriend, who claimed to have been conned out of 7,000 Kenyan shillings by the DJ. Disturbed by this revelation, Purity confronted her boyfriend through text messages, to which he offered no denials. With intentions to retrieve her belongings from his home in Kirigiti, Kiambu County, Purity made plans for the day. She stopped by the National Transport and Safety Authority (NTSA) to obtain her driver's license, accompanied by her friend. The two then proceeded to Odeon in Nairobi CBD, where Purity boarded a matatu bound for Kiambu. According to her friend, the initial plan was for Purity to return to Nairobi by 5:30 p.m., but this did not transpire. At around 7 p.m., Purity's friend grew increasingly concerned as their attempts to reach her proved futile. They decided to contact DJ Flex, who answered the call and allegedly informed them that they were en route to Naivasha. The DJ, however, denied them the opportunity to speak to Purity, claiming that she was right beside him. Unbeknownst to them, DJ Flex had already committed a heinous act, possibly out of fear that Purity might expose his fraudulent activities, or perhaps due to the fear of losing her. DJ Flex later disposed of Purity's lifeless body near Mburira Estate in Kiambu County. Her remains bore visible stab wounds and signs of strangulation, and they were discovered by a passerby by the roadside at approximately 6 a.m. This Good Samaritan immediately alerted the Kiambu-based crime busters, prompting a swift response from law enforcement. Meanwhile, DJ Flex attempted to evade the long arm of the law but was eventually apprehended by the police in Kirigiti, Kiambu County. He was arrested alongside Kanaiya Kamau and Brendan Mushiri, both accused of aiding in the disposal of Wangechi's body. They were all placed in custody on charges of murder, as outlined in Section 203, read with Section 204 of the Penal Code, according to a statement from the DCI posted on Twitter. However, since their arrest, little information has surfaced regarding the fate of the three suspects. Shockingly, DJ Flex's Instagram account has remained dormant, even though the last post was on September 2023 last year. While Purity's TikTok account continues to remain active even 1 year after her tragic demise, with her last post dating back to November 14th, 2023, 1 year after her death. And the big question is, who is this person posting on Purity's TikTok account? And who is the person managing DJ Flex's Instagram account? Number 3. Starlet Wahu. On January 6th, 2024, the Kenyan public was shaken by the sudden and untimely passing of a rising Instagram sensation known as Starlet Wahu. While her extravagant lifestyle had yet to capture the attention of established tabloids in the country, she had managed to cultivate a following of 14,000 on her Instagram account, where she flaunted a life of luxury and indulgence. Starlet Wahu's social media presence was marked by opulent displays and an unabashed celebration of a lavish lifestyle. She frequently showcased herself riding expensive cars like the Mercedes-Benz and donned revealing bikinis, aiming to attract affluent individuals who could potentially fund her extravagant way of life. However, her penchant for associating exclusively with wealthy men unknowingly set the stage for her tragic downfall. On that fateful day, January 6, 2024, just days after the new year, Starlet Wahu unexpectedly trended on social media, but not for the reasons she had hoped. Her lifeless body was discovered in an apartment located in the South B area of Nairobi County. Prior to her demise, CCTV footage captured Starlet Wahu in the company of a tall, dark man dressed casually in denim and brown trousers. The man concealed his face with a black cap, adding an air of mystery to their encounter. It was evident from the footage that they appeared uncomfortable together, like strangers who had crossed paths in a club and joined forces for an unknown purpose. Tragically, that man was later identified as the serial killer John Matara. The two entered a rented apartment, house number Y32, and what Starlet Wahu did not realize was that these would be her final moments on earth. They engaged in a brief period of intimacy as indicated by the presence of a used condom in the room and an unused HIV test kits, suggesting that they had checked their HIV status beforehand. They seemed to grow closer during the night, but a dreadful turn of events lay ahead. John Matara had a history of luring women from dating sites, spending time with them and then taking them hostage at knife point, demanding money for their release. Most of his victims were online sex workers, drawn to him by the promise of financial gain. Starlet Wahu, it appears, was no different from his previous victims. Wahu found herself ensnared in Matara's trap, believing she would receive money in exchange for an intimate encounter. However, instead of a financial transaction, she paid the ultimate price with her life. Matara employed the same tactics he had used before, holding her hostage and demanding access to her phone and bank accounts while brandishing a knife. In a courageous attempt to resist, Wahu fought back, but tragically, Matara overpowered her, repeatedly stabbing her until her life was cruelly extinguished. After committing the horrific act, Matara hastily departed the scene, as seen in CCTV footages, covering himself with a white towel. His trousers stained with blood. He sought medical treatment for a stab wound he sustained during the scuffle with Wahu. Police later traced him to the hospital, where he was taken into custody and is currently undergoing interrogation by detectives. As for Starlet Wahu, her family, largely comprised of pastors, conducted a hurried burial just 2 days after her tragic demise, urging for prayers during this profoundly challenging period.